here with Mandeville coach Hutch Gonzales. And Coach, every coach has an interesting offseason, but yours has really been interesting. I mean, making the change from Aquinas to here. How tough has that been for you?
To get back in St. Tammany Parish is exciting, and I've been catching some flack from my Covington classmates, telling everybody that this is the best job in the parish, but I mean it when I say it. This is kind of, like I said, I think I used the word pinnacle last time,
right.
and I feel that way. When you talk about schools in St. Tammany Parish, Mandeville's always up there at the top of the list. When you think about football programs over the past 10 years in St. Tammany Parish, you think about St. Paul's, you think about Mandeville. Mandeville's been up there. So to get here and start getting adjusted and settled in by now has been exciting.
By the ways of coaches today, you're a young coach,
mm-hmm.
and how has the ride been for you along the way, getting here?
Fast, extremely fast. When I think back on it, it was it's been 10 years that I've been coaching, but it all seems to kind of run together. It was a couple years at a little private school, Bowling Green, with my buddy Brett Beard, who's at Live Oak now, and then then a couple years at Covington High, and then a couple years away from it when I was playing, for the Voodoo, and then back to Covington High, and so there's been a few stints, but I think 4 years ago I was a volunteer offensive coordinator at Lakeshore, 4 seasons ago, and then it's on to Found Blue and on to St. Thomas, and 1 year stays at all those places, and fortunately for me, it's always been a step up, or else I wouldn't have taken the step.
Right.
So that's why it was short stints, but those short stints led to something better each time. So I've been fortunate.
I know it's only been a few months, but do you feel like you're home now?
I do. I definitely do. And I made a few jokes. You walk in and, like I said, because obviously I'm a Covington grad, so you walk in, it's kind of like I feel like you're behind enemy lines a little bit at first, but it's been everybody here is extremely welcoming. The kids are incredible. Obviously the facilities are beautiful, and they were just hungry.
Last year was a tough year for this program with Coach LeCompte leaving, right before the season started, and Josh Buell did the best he could,
mm-hmm.
Filling in, and I can only imagine what it was like for the kids to have to go through all of that.
They're hungry. I think they're just like everyone else, and we say this all the time as coaches. All players are out here because they want to be led.
Yeah.
And like I said, Josh did a phenomenal job of picking up where Coach left off when he had his issues and he had to leave. But it's still, it's kind of like that situation where you have a substitute teacher.
Right.
And Josh is somebody that they were familiar with, and he's a phenomenal coach. But it was still a situation where it's like this is not what was supposed to happen this season. This was supposed to be our year, and things didn't go as we intended. So for them to bring me in, and even though it was a little bit later than we probably would have liked it to have been, we were able to get a spring in. We've had a phenomenal summer. Everybody knows the direction that we're trying to go, and I think that that goes a long way with the kids and accepting their role and jumping in, just head first and really buying in. And it's been, like I said, it's been a great summer, and I'm looking forward to what comes from here.
Well, let's talk about your team and what you have coming in. And obviously on offense, you've got quite a bit of turnover. This team had some key seniors last year. Talk about what you have coming back, the key returners you're looking at, and some of the newcomers that we need to net.
Okay. Obviously coming back, we have several guys up front. Our center, Jeremy Gugno, has been kind of that fifth man on the offensive line for a while, and he's going to do a really good job for us. Madrid Steele, whose big brother Darren was here last year as quarterback wide receiver. Madrid is a phenomenal leader up front. He does a great job. I call him Coach Madrid. If I'm not there, he'll run the program. He can do everything. So he does a great job for us. We have some young guys who are filling in those spots. We're very athletic up front. As a typical Mandeville football team, we're not huge.
Yeah.
But we move well up front. So we're looking for a lot out of that group.
Well, you like to make things move fast on offense. Talk about your skill players and who you got going on there.
We've got as talented a group of skill kids as I've ever coached. Out wide, we have a big wide receiver, basketball player, Will Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
He's young, but he's a 6'3", go up. He made a couple catches at the the Southeastern 7-on-7 that people were just like, wow, you know, he's got big hands, he catches the ball well, very smooth. In the slots, we have Desmond Sams, and then on the other side, we kind of rotate a few guys, Nelson Garcia and Zon Diaz, who will also be in the backfield for us. Extremely talented guys. DeRaje Gaspard, who is coming back, he's been on and off the field as a wide receiver for him for the past couple years. But then, realistically, I'm very fortunate because we go so fast. We are about 7 deep at the wide receiver position, where we feel comfortable with any of them in the game.
Who's going to come in for Teron Jones?
Man, it's hard to fill shoes like that. But his counterpart in the backfield last year was Charles Quinn, and that kid is an animal. If you could come in here and watch that boy get in the squat rack and put the weight on his back that he does, it's unbelievable. And he does a great job of transferring that over to the football field. He's extremely explosive. He's fast, but he causes an impact at the point of contact. And he does a great job of always falling forward. He can run the inside zone. He can run the outside zone. He can catch the ball out the backfield. So he's pretty special for us.
And Andrew Bristro's transferred, so talk about what's going on at the quarterback position.
We, through the spring, we were a little bit uncertain, to be honest with you. We took DeRaje, who's one of our better athletes, and put him in the spring game at quarterback and worked him through the spring. Also, our all-world kicker, Caden Costa, he's a phenomenal athlete. He played receiver. He plays, I mean, obviously he's ranked really high, kicking in the nation and things like that. But we put him back there to play quarterback as well, and he's picked it up. We were very fortunate that Devon Tott has come over from North Lake, and he's picked it up really well. He's going to be a sophomore.
Okay.
He's already 6'3". I told him this morning, I feel like he's gotten taller since you've been here. So, and he's got a big arm.
As we speak, do you think he's the leading candidate?
As we speak, yes, absolutely. He's the leading candidate. He's picked it up really well.
Which is July 18th. I don't know when this will run, but as of July 18th.
Yeah, so he's definitely the leading candidate right now.
Well, let's talk about your defense. And, you know, before we talk about any players, you know, an interesting swap, kind of an ironic swap. You know, Coach LeCompte goes to Holy Cross, and you bring in a guy I have just tremendous respect for, and Eric Rabata, who was, you know, a wonderful defensive coordinator at Holy Cross before he was the coach there for 4 years. Talk about bringing him in and what he does for this program.
Yeah, look, you laugh about all this free agency talk and all that stuff, but that was like the free agent pickup of the year for me. I mean, that was huge. There were talks of it, and him and I kind of went back and forth, and we didn't know, there was no certainty yet. But when we were able to lock him down and get him in, that was huge for me. That's probably the biggest hire I've ever made, you know, as a coach. That was huge. He comes in and have another guy who's basically a head coach on the defensive side of the ball. It gives me so much freedom, you know, me being an offensive guy, to just say, Coach, they're yours. Whatever you think. You have twice the experience being a head coach that I do.
Right.
Go get it. You have twice the experience coaching in general that I do. To coach in the Catholic League and be as successful as he has for as many years as he has, I can't tell him anything.
Right.
You know, and look, don't get me wrong, he's a good soldier. Whatever I ask. But it's so valuable to have him there to bounce ideas off of and just trust that he's going to get it done the right way. The kids love him. They've responded to what he's doing. And it's a little different, not tremendously different, because there's only so many things you can do with the style of offenses that we're going to face in our district. But he's great.
We'll talk about your defensive personnel and what, again, same thing, what you have coming back and some of the key newcomers that you have as well.
Up front, you know, it's a lot of the same old thing with Mandeville. We're not huge. We don't have these big 300-pound nose guards that are going to just smash people in the back. We have extremely technique sound guys who play hard. Kevin Ludwigson, Seth Paggart, probably be on the nose. Those kind of guys who played last year, got significant playing time, and are going to come back and be, you know, really leaders up front for us. The linebacker position is extremely experienced. Again, no big name guys.
It's always been key here to have the good linebacker.
Extremely, because of the type of defense. It's always been that 3-3 stack. You've got to have guys, and if you think about the guys that have played in this defense over the years, I mean, talk about guys like Mike Maudie and Jonathan Piccone and guys who really made tons of plays. And they made tons of plays because, one, they were great athletes, but then two, they were great thinkers, and they could play in this system. And we're very fortunate to have guys like Zach Bulovis, who is legitimately probably the smartest person on campus. Yeah. It's unbelievable how intelligent he is. He could coach the linebackers. As a matter of fact, he may have coached the linebackers today. So he does a great job. Guys like Kurt Bartholomew, who are extremely physical, hard-nosed kids. And again, they're not big 6'3" maulers. They're just always in the right place at the right time, and they know where to be. And they're very smart, and they're physical. And it showed through the 7-on-7s and the summer. We're very physical.
And then
knock a lot of people down.
And then in this district, obviously, with some of the quarterbacks that are around here, you got to have a good secondary.
Indeed.
And generally at Mandeville, there is a good secondary. Talk about that a little bit.
The scheme helps us tremendously because I say all the time, are we going to go out and out athlete everyone every week? No. We have a special free safety, Ben Bonner. He's a 6'1", 6'2" kid. Probably knocking on the door of 180 pounds, 185 pounds. He can run.
Yeah.
That was the first kid I noticed when I walked on campus in spring conditioning. He can run. Yeah. Absolutely fly.
Talk about your schedule a little bit, and especially before we get to district, just talk about your non-district schedule. It's always tough here at Mandeville, set up before you got here. But just talk about that a little bit and what you think you'll learn from your team for those first 3 weeks.
No cupcakes. No. That's for sure. Look, week one, if you don't know who University High is, you will. They are the highest ranked team in the national rankings in Louisiana. I think they're somewhere inside the top 15.
Defend Division II champs.
The
manhandled.
Let me tell you something.
Del
Not just Division II champs. They were the best team in the state last year. I watched them on film. I saw them play in the dome. We go up and play one of my very good friends. He'll come here, but Live Oak.
Yeah.
Brett Beard over at Live Oak, who is, again, one of the best high school football coaches in this state.
That's an interesting coincidence that they just happen to be on its
right. And we've always talked about playing each other, but he runs his programs the way they're supposed to be run, and it shows when they get on the field.
And Coach Roboto knows about them because he played them in the last regular season game.
Absolutely. So it'll be some familiarity, but it'll be a good test for us. Obviously, we have that week 3 off, which we tried to fill. It was just so late. Yeah. But it'll give us a nice little rest before we go into district. And then, you know about our district. We've got Fountain Blue week 4, and then after that, it's a test every week.
Lastly, Coach, just talk a little bit about what do you think are realistic goals for you coming in your first year here. There are going to be some bumps along the way. When you go in somewhere new, there always are. But what do you think are realistic goals for you in this program this first season?
Well, week 1 and 2 are going to be really tough, and I think that's going to tell us a lot about our program. But to go out and compete those first 2 weeks the way that I think we can would be huge for us before we go into that bye week for district. And then to really finish towards the top of the pack in the district, middle to top of the pack. And look, we're not coming out here and selling ourselves short or overselling anything.
Right.
Do I think that we have the potential to win district? Without a doubt. Now, do we all get on the same page and do it? That's to be determined. But I think that realistically, a home playoff game is not out of the question. We can finish in that top half of this 5A bracket.
And that would be a great building.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a realistic goal. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say we need to be home week 1 in the playoffs and just go from there.
You excited?
I'm extremely excited.
Mandeville coach Hutch Gonzales, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.